Hey there, and welcome back to Tactical Breach Wizards. My name is Pete, and today we complete another episode of this completionist walkthrough on hard difficulty with health cut in half. Last time we left off, after officially beginning the game's fourth and final act, we traveled to Medil, met with the local militia on board of a cargo train, and promptly had to defend that train against reactive forces who had commandeered a train of their own. We also met several new types of enemies, including, for the first time, the mana-infused prototypes molded after Liv Kennedy's image, but we did manage to blow up the enemy train and everyone on it, and before the action continues, today we're in for something a little different once more. Well, I suppose I'll let you see that for yourself. I know that outfit. You ought to. You designed it. Never built it though. I'm the you who did. So you're a dream self. Veska told me about them. What's the point? Why didn't you build the suit? I'm holding a revolution together with two bloodied fists. Had to shelve some hobby projects. Not right now. You're not even in Kalen, for the first time in your life. You got out. And you're here to guilt me about it? I'm here to ask why you didn't do it sooner. Well, I'm here to work out some aggression so your thing can wait. Fine, I'll take the lead. Show you some tricks you haven't learned yet. Alright, so welcome to Dall's Anxiety Dream, the third one we're playing through in this series. Unlike the dream versions of Jen and Dessa, however, Dream Dall has every single perk unlocked. I won't be going through all of them right now, but I will point out the changes when we use them. For now though, let's talk a little bit more about the mission at hand. Our goal here is to get both Dalls into the green zone by the end of turn 1, a green zone that is currently protected by several enemies and locked behind 2 security doors. Good thing that Dream Dall can swap positions with enemies she can't even see, so after grabbing the 2 intel here, we are now going to swap with the tracker standing conveniently right next to the laptop. This allows us to open both security doors and to use another upgrade to Dall's charge ability. As you can see, she can now move through enemies to charge targets behind them. Everything else here, the consecutive charges thanks to Rampage, we already know, although even that won't allow us to take out the reactor neutralizer standing in the corner here, so with her last charge we're just getting Dream Dall back out of there. Back over to regular Dall then, who only possesses the perks we actually purchased, which unfortunately also means that she can't go straight after the Riot Priest. As a matter of fact, we will have to be content with leaving this and 2 more enemies alive. My completionist heart is bleeding at the thought, but believe me, I tried for several hours. I just could not come up with a better solution than this, at least not one that also fulfills Dall's confidence goal, which again demands that we finish this in 1 turn. That, however, we have done, so on to the next one. So how does it feel to get out into the world? Meeting weird foreigners, seeing your first mountains, blowing up a train? I'm not on vacation. I need to get back to the fight. So you're taking a vow of unhappiness until the entire regime falls? What if it outlasts you? I can't think that. You can't afford not to. You're an engine, Dall, but you've spent half your adult life in top gear. If you don't change down soon, you're not going to remember how. Change takes momentum. That's physics, not psychology. You're fighting for a people. Don't forget you're one of them. You want me to walk away from the fight I bled for. You're already away, and I know you're going back, but while you're out here, let yourself breathe it in. Go back ready. I'm ready now. Let's see. Alright, so things are getting progressively more interesting here. Dall's Anxiety Dream is certainly one that feels the most like a big puzzle. Once again, we need to get both Dalls into the green zone, and this time we have to use 2 laptops to achieve that, one protected by 9 enemies and the other one completely inaccessible. Needless to say, once again, we are not going to clear the map of hostiles. On lower difficulties and with a bit more health, that might actually be possible. We, meanwhile, will have to be satisfied with only 1 enemy going down in this one, as that is what our confidence goal requires. So, once again, Dream Dall grabs the intel and then swaps position with the Riot Priest, which immediately has 8 trackers taking aim at her, but still, we can grab more intel and also open the first security door. Now at this point we make use of the panic perk for the swap ability, which forces enemies who are targeting Dall to immediately unload their attack on the target she swaps with. So that's the Riot Priest down and the confidence goal completed. The trackers meanwhile will remain alive though, and with the first security door open we can now move in and charge the weapons crate here. This counts as a target for the purposes of keeping momentum, and up next we're going to throw Dall's riot block in front of the laptop. Using her second charge, we then grab the nearby intel and swap positions with said riot block, an ability that is unlocked by the Swap with Objects perk. This now allows us to open the second security door and to charge a regular Dall into the green zone, where she can now deploy a riot block of her own, and with the final point of mana we just grabbed with Dream Dall, we can now swap positions with that one too and end the level. The real question is, why are you talking to me about this? I tried ignoring you, you kept talking. No, I mean, why isn't this dream about Jida? You talk to him every day since he died, about everything and nothing. But not now. I still hear him, we still talk, he's just fuzzier. Since you died. I didn't die. You took a lethal one-shot to the head. I got better. You were resurrected. Southerner word. Contradiction in terms. Death is permanent, by definition. If you get better, you weren't dead. But that's what I'm talking about. We don't even have words for some of the concepts out there. How many wars have been fought in Kalen over the nature of death? How much of this fight is about the nature of death? And then 3 foreigners pull up and one of them can undo it. It's not death. Okay, but it's something. Something we didn't know was possible. Something like that could change everything. So you think if I take a vacation I'll solve death? I think getting your head out of the fight might be good for your head and the fight. But I didn't have to leave Kalen to meet Banks. Okay, but can we agree you're gonna meet more weirdos outside of Kalen than in it? Granted. So, am I gonna lose him? I don't know. I don't think so. Everything's changing. Anything could be messing with our connection. Because I don't think I can lose him again. I know. We won't. Alright, here we go, level 3 of 4, and for the first time the objective also includes taking out all enemies, not to mention sealing all the reinforcement doors and inflicting 6 damage from enemies hitting the riot block as our confidence goal. Now enemy-wise we have the reactor shotgunner here, an enemy type that we have not yet met, capable of inflicting heavy damage and knockback from close range, and we also meet the reactor chaser again, who, just like in the last episode, will demand particular attention as they can act after every single move we do. So to get us started then, we breach, heavily injuring the first shotgunner, and now it's important that we move with a Dream Dall to grab the intel here, because only she can charge through the shotgunner at the chaser. That takes them out, and we will also get rid of one shotgunner this turn, although it's not going to be this one. Instead, we once again make use of Dream Dall's panic swap, forcing the already injured shotgunner to immediately unload. Utilizing Dream Dall's riot block, we then dash her towards the first reinforcement door to seal it. The riot block gets destroyed this way, but once per turn it can be reclaimed, so let's dash back out to stay far enough away from the 2 shotgunners. Regular Dall will also move closer to the second reinforcement door, and then we end our turn. Now, unfortunately, we did have chasers come through both doors, in addition, of course, to the 2 shotgunners we also still have left. Not to mention that we also do not want to forget about our confidence goal, which is why we are now once again getting a bit tricky with it. With Dream Dall here, we're just going to move 1 tile, provoking a move from both chasers, and making the one on this side move closer to her. Afterwards, we dash back out, and with that have just bought Dall some time. She is now going to use 1 more action to deploy the riot block, and this here is what I have been waiting for, 2 enemies right behind each other, ready for the charge. The chaser goes down from the collision with the shotgunner, that shotgunner in turn is pushed into the riot block, and that's our first 3 points of damage dealt. With Dream Dall, we can now place a second riot block to charge the other chaser into, and she still has a sufficiently long run-up to get the takedown and complete the confidence goal. At this point, we can now dash from one riot block to the next to seal the remaining 2 reinforcement doors, which eventually leaves us only with that one shotgunner we breached into at the very beginning of the level. Now, the slight problem about this is that shotgunners can move quite the distance. You can see it here. Even if we place a riot block down to protect Dream Dall, the shotgunner will simply pick the other way around, so no matter what we do here, Dream Dall is going to get herself shot. Now, that is admittedly not too much of a problem. Regular Dall is sufficiently well equipped to take out this enemy, and as you can see, the shotgunner makes it very easy for her. A simple charge here will suffice. This was Jaida's fight. He was the radical. I know. If you're gonna tell me I shouldn't honor him, no, I'm done arguing. I just like remembering him. Me too. He didn't want you in it. I'm not arguing, but he didn't. I know, and I tell him every day, tough luck. Staying out didn't keep me safe. The day they killed him, they would have killed me if I hadn't unlocked another foreign word. Didn't know what the else to call it. I just saw that metal bastard standing over him, felt the cold power radiating off that armor, and every atom in me just said, no, you don't get to have that power, that safety. You don't need it. I do. And then I had it. You don't have to remember the rest. You don't have to relive it. Yes, I do. I thought I was the priest for a second, like some bad taste body swap. I was seeing through the visor, in the armor, holding the shield, role-playing the enemy. Then I saw him scrambling across my workshop floor in his long johns, terrified and gibbering, and I understood. Dropped this shield on his shins. Didn't even feel the bones. I thought it would feel good, feel right, but the pain and hate just kept rising like vomit. It was the worst I'd ever felt, but it was fuel. I wanted to point it at them and charge. I wanted to point it at them and never let up. You can let up now. Just for a moment, just for a breath. You've given them hell for 10 straight years. You dealt them blows like they've never known. The armor's cracking. And Jaida is so f***ing proud of you, Dall. He always knew your power. He's the only one who knew you could take on a nation if you had to. But he loves your heart, and he can't watch it get crushed between a shield and a stone wall. Do him one more favor. Look after yourself. I'll try. Okay. Breach? Give me a second. Of course. Right, what can I say? The writing in this game, it's getting heavy here today. And heavy is also a good description of the task ahead of us. For now, we only have a lone tracker and a single siege cleric in the room. But there's also 3 reinforcement doors, and the confidence goal demands that we do not touch any of them until the end of turn 3. So I'd say we're in for another interesting one. Now thankfully, the breach immediately takes care of the tracker. Then with Dall we place a riot block behind the siege cleric and then charge the robot into it with Dream Dall. To ensure that we can charge again, we also have to put down a riot block over on the other side here, charge that, destroy it in the process, and then take out the siege cleric. So far so good, that was probably the easy part. Now we end the turn by grabbing the intel here and get ready to outlast 3 turns of reinforcements. Alright, we are joined by a tracker, a riot priest and an absolver. I have noticed, however, that this absolver really does not like to get in on the action. More often than not, they just end up standing in the corner not protecting anyone. Well, I suppose we'll take it. A double charge followed by a sensor slam should get rid of the riot priest. Thanks to Rampage 2, we can combine as many charges as we want. If we always hit a target, then we always get the action back. Now, the absolver here will leave standing. They don't pose too much of a threat. The tracker, meanwhile, is quickly disposed of, and just like that, we can now end our turn. There really is no need to charge anywhere else for better position. We are then joined by yet another tracker, a cleanser and a shepherd, while the absolver still refrains from doing anything that's actually useful. But again, I'm not complaining. This allows the real Dall to focus all of her efforts on taking out the tracker. while Dream Dall actually finds herself in the perfect spot to take out 2 enemies. Up first, she can charge the Cleanser and get a bit of run-up on the Shepherd, who is then obviously going to be target number 2. So there we are, once again we are down to only the Absolver, and if you're thinking that we've finally made it and can now start sealing reinforcement doors, then I have to disappoint you. The confidence goal clearly states that we need to wait until the end of turn 3. In other words, we can't seal anything before the start of turn 4. Nonetheless, we can already move both the Dalls into position to seal doors on the next turn, so that we don't have to waste movement to do so. And then we end the turn to be joined by another tracker, a Riot Priest, and a second Absolver. First things first though, now that the confidence goal has been completed, let's seal those 2 doors, and then we get ready to pull off a very specific series of moves. Using that 1 point of mana we still have on Dall will make her swap positions with the Riot Priest. That gets the Priest out of the Absolver's protection, and a Riot block allows Dream Dall to get into the perfect charging position. We need 2 charges here to take the Priest down, and you might already be able to see where this is going. Since we charged the Priest through the level entry, we can now also take aim at the tracker. It takes a little while, but eventually they go down too, and we can now switch over to regular Dall, who can now charge towards reinforcement door number 3 and seal it shut. Once again, the 2 Absolvers remain standing, but we're perfectly fine with that. They are thankfully not able to protect each other. And so on turn number 5 then, we can finish this with Dream Dall, grab the intel and swap positions with the Riot block here. 2 more charges and this level, and with that, this Anxiety Dream will be complete. And there we go, we unlock the Shields Down achievement as well as the Blind Faith perk for her swap ability. Not a whole lot to explain here, I think. We saw that in action numerous times throughout this video. And with that, another Anxiety Dream is behind us and we can get back to the mission at hand. However, because I would like to keep these Anxiety Dreams separate, we're going to do that next episode. Apologies that this one took me a little while longer than usual to upload. I had to spend a few days in the hospital this week, nothing serious, it was a scheduled procedure. Nonetheless, that is of course not the environment where you can make YouTube videos. Despite all that, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can also go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or check out and maybe even pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.